Welcome, agents, to strain number 05, FR2, of the Zero Point Report, a broadcast all about the news surrounding the Secret World IP. Today is Thursday, September 12th, 2019, and I am your host for this evening, Ocho. With me tonight, we have Ember.
Howdy, howdy.
We have Jimmy the Rabbit.
Heyo.
And we have Griff.
Hello.
How's everyone doing this fine evening?
The hurricane did not transport me to Kansas, so I am doing all right.
And it was not your first hurricane either.
Well, technically the last one kind of skimmed us. This one also wasn't a direct hit, but it was a little bit more direct. It was still exciting.
Oh, so this one was actually kind of worse than the last one.
Yeah, the last one, everybody was freaking out and it just barely skimmed us. We honestly barely got anything. This one, the roof was shaking and trees were falling down and we were fine. We were safe, but it was rather more exciting.
That's always fun. I've been through a couple of them myself, hurricanes. Once you go through them once or twice, you're like, you know what to expect.
Well, and that's exactly the thing, and that's what I keep saying. In Minnesota, I'm used to, you have blizzards, which do cause damage, but mostly you're just stuck at home. And then you have tornadoes that, you don't know where they're going to be, and if you have one, you're screwed. So there is no, evacuation.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that they're significantly... even though they take up so much more of an area and they can potentially be more damaging, I feel like hurricanes are a lot less scary than than a tornado would be.
Yeah, because tornadoes are okay, everybody in the basement and hope everything's okay. So, yay, weather. We have opened our show with talking about the weather. Bravo.
Sometimes it's actually fun to talk about the weather. Anyway, whatever. How's the weather up your guys' way, Ember and Jimmy?
It's still.
It got warmer for me. Yeah. It was cool last week, and now it's just being an ass again.
I said we had a day of 60-degree weather.
Oh,
when the hurricane passed by, we had one day of 60-degree weather, and then it went back up to the 90s. But that's whatever. That's all good.
Down here in the dirty south, we got Fort Man, and that's pretty much it.
I'll say, well, you're down in Florida, so how did the hurricane affect you?
I was on the far side.
Badly,
the
right?
Other side.
Okay.
So it just had some higher breezes and some showers. That's about it.
Okay. Yeah. Not bad. I say, I actually think out of all of us, I think the one that got hit the hardest from the hurricane is oddly Antietam. I think.
Yeah.
I know, because she was talking about that.
Because it hit Prince Edward Island directly. Or not Prince Edward Island. It's wherever she is in Canada. It hit that island square on directly. And it was still a hurricane even by the point it hit up there. So I think she maybe had the worst of it than any of us. But anyway, we're here to talk about Secret World Legends, believe it or not.
What?
The weather
And
in
anything
Secret World
surrounding Secret World. We do have a couple things. Nova Scotia. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, Nova Scotia.
Yep.
So we have a couple things to discuss, not a gigantic amount, but mostly it's revolving around Funcom itself and what Funcom has been doing. With all their separate IPs and all their separate things. Part of the 0 Point report was kind of that we kind of take the focus sometimes off of Secret World to kind of showcase what else Funcom is doing, because in general, what's good for Funcom is good for the Secret World. Yeah, pretty much. That's a theory anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if they're not going bankrupt, then their game probably keeps going.
I mean, this game will continue. I mean, if you take a look at all the other online games that they have, Anarchy Online, and these games are still up. They're still running.
From a billion years ago.
Yeah, from a long, long time ago. They're not. Yeah, if anything, they're not going to be shutting down Secret World anytime soon.
At least for another decade or two.
That is almost a given. Now, if we see when we'll see major content updates, that's the question. But they'll get to them in time.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have a pretty big crunch right now on the co-op game.
Right now, yeah.
I think I want to say that's their most likely their focus.
I think they're putting all their focus in the stuff that they've the IPs that they bought, like Conan, Mutineer, and Dune. So that's where their focus is on that.
I would say especially the Dune, because that's going to be an open world multiplayer game as well. So I mean that's going to be, basically an MMO in release, if not in name, but that's pretty much what that's going to be, along the same lines as Secret World, and but in the Dune universe. And so yeah, probably a lot of resources are currently being poured into that, along with all the other properties and all the different stuff they're throwing into their portfolio. So I have here basically a quick summary of the report from, I never know how to pronounce his name. He's the CEO of Funcom, Rue Kazais. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not positive.
It's not Norwegian enough.
No.
Is he, though? I don't know.
But it says comments from the CEO. 2019 is a transition year for Funcom, the transition between the turnaround and the growth phases of the company, and as is common in any transition, many of the changes are not immediately visible. From January until now, and by now we mean they released this in late August. Released a new game, Conan Unconquered, a new DLC for Mutineer Zero Road to Eden, and 2 new DLCs for Conan Exiles. While this is a good number of activities, especially compared with previous years, where releases were few and far between, what is equally important are all the less obvious achievements and learnings happening internally. With Mutant, we have for the first time released a game on Nintendo Switch, and the game is now available on 3 subscription services, over 6 different PC storefronts, 3 console stores, a total of more than 12 digital sales channels, and then there's retail distribution on top. The experience and insight gained from activating these sales channels will be very valuable for our future games. With Conan Unconquered, we saw an opportunity to experiment with a low-budget game and a new genre for Funcom, real-time strategy. We worked with a developer with a long track record in the genre to create a small game that isn't a classical example of the genre, but a twist on it. Unfortunately, the reception from the players was not as positive as we hoped for. We are grateful for their feedback, and based on that feedback, we have made free updates to the game and have a larger update ready to go out soon. We are improving our processes based on this experience, and we still believe in this genre, but it's clear that the budget and quality of this game was just not high enough. While these publishing games get a fair bit of attention due to being new releases, Conan Exiles also continues to perform well, showing the fundamental value of our core competence, multiplayer games as a service. It's with that in mind that we have decided to put on hold the Conan single-player game to focus the developers and management in the Oslo studio on Conan Exiles and Dune, our next large multiplayer open-world game. We are incredibly excited about the Dune game and its potential, both in financial terms and genre-defining gameplay. It is a game we believe can surpass Conan Exiles, and we want to do it right, creating a game that is of high quality, technically and gameplay-wise. Legendary and Warner Brothers have announced that the Dune movie will be released in December 2020, and we continue to work closely with Legendary to make sure we capitalize on the opportunities and synergies between the movie and the game. I didn't even realize that part. Wait a minute, what? There's a Dune movie coming out in 2020?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right. In our North Carolina studio, we continue to work on the multiplayer shooter game we hope to start revealing more of soon and bring to market in 2020. And they did release something during the financial report. They said that that is going to be based off of Mutant Year Chronicles. Or no, Mutant Chronicles.
Correct.
Which is the same universe as Mutant Year Zero, but possibly at a different time period. Is that what we figured out?
Yeah.
Seems like it.
It seems something along that lines, yeah. And we also found that there's a terrible Mutant Chronicle movies out there somewhere, but
Yeah, if you want to look it up, the trailer is on YouTube, and it's something.
It's got.
Well, that's a rousing encouragement to go see it.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
got Ron Perlman, Thomas Jane,
John Malkovich.
you said John Malkovich, right?
Yeah.
Sean Pertwee.
It's got a lot of people in it.
It's got star power.
I feel like I was telling them before we went live, like I feel like it was trying to be done a little bit like what did you say it was? Was it Sky Captain?
Yeah, World of Tomorrow.
I feel like it was trying to be done a little bit like in that vein. Like I feel like the style, like the film style, is like intentionally looks the way it looked, but the way it looks makes it look like a really bad B movie. If that makes sense.
You're putting it kindly.
But like, does it look like a really bad B movie in a good way or a bad way?
This is what I don't. This
We
is
don't
what I
know.
don't like
That's
about
we
the
don't
trailer.
know.
I feel like the trailer for it is actually bad. It has so many cuts. You know what I mean? Like,
and
it
the
doesn't
effects
feel
and
like
everything. It's just
yeah, it doesn't feel like it conveys enough of what's going on, other than like you can tell it kind of has this shitty look to it. But I feel like that's kind of on purpose.
yeah.
So-
if it's,
So it
looks
could
like
rise
something-
above its badness and actually be
Yeah.
fairly
Yeah, or
watchable.
it could just be badly good, because sometimes that's the case too. You know what I mean?
And that's what you hope for when a movie is bad. You're like, oh, this seems like it's just so awful. There's a movie that's like that. My friend, a good friend of mine, she does a lot of theater acting here in Jersey, and she got offered to be part of this movie called like Bog Creatures, and she was like, sure, why not? Okay. And we're like, okay, you're gonna be like head bog creature. And so my wife and I were like, our friends in this movie, we have to go out and find this movie. It like direct to DVD, like we have to go find it. We have to find it. We have to watch it. We found it. We watched it. It was awful. It was terrible. Her part was okay. But it was just like like ridiculously over the top, like not even B quality horror movie. And so we told her, we're like, oh, we bought it and we watched it, and she was like, you watched it? We're like, yeah. And she's like, I haven't even watched it.
Like, why? Why would you do that?
And so she's like, why would you spend money on that? I feel like this would be similar, at least, or maybe a little better anyway. But continuing the financial report, they say, finally, we have more publishing games in the pipeline, with Moons of Madness and Conan Chop Chop having been revealed, as well as other unannounced titles. The path ahead is clear in our minds, with our future multiplayer games leading the charge and being supported by Conan Exiles and the smaller publishing games in both revenue and key learnings. I hope you're able to join us and be a part of the growth, the success, and the great games this path will lead us to. So that's basically the financial report. And Conan Chop Chop, they've already said, has been pushed back. Initially, it was announced for September 3rd.
Yeah.
But it was pushed back to add
for a very good
online multiplayer.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do agree with that. That was probably a smart play.
Yeah, that's something that I mean, what they said is that it's a good reason why they did it, or they're looking into adding it. But it's like, why didn't you think of that to begin with?
I don't think it's that they didn't think of it. I think it just wasn't in the timeline for their release. I think it seemed like they always planned on doing. But the what I gathered from it, anyways, was the response from everyone was like, "Oh man, this is gonna be so great!" Like when it gets multiplayer.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
they originally planned to have it have to make it have. It's not like they had no multiplayer at all. They originally planned on having like a couch co-op sort of thing. So if you're
Right.
both playing on like a Nintendo Switch or something, which of course now that they've kind of expanded outwards, that kind of it's almost a no-brainer that it's going to be on Switch and other platforms. That would facilitate a sort of couch co-op better.
Yeah.
And so they originally planned for that to be the multiplayer for it, and then they were like, you know what? Let's do more. Let's have more than just that.
I read
Well,
something on it. They planned on it, I think, from the beginning.
And I feel like I understand any company that kind of waits a little bit on multiplayer, because there's a lot of times people are like, oh my god, I want the multiplayer, I want it now. And then there's other times people are like, no multiplayer. So,
Last Starfighter in chat says nothing for Secret World. No, they didn't mention much about Secret World. They just kind of mentioned it alongside their other multiplayer properties. But they don't usually use this opportunity. They don't usually like using the financial report to announce anything. From they did announce like that one little thing saying that the co-op was going to be based on Mutant Chronicles, but they don't usually like having the financial report announce things. So
yeah, it's not even the title of it, right? They just announced the IP it's on, basically.
Yeah, they just announced the IP, not even the title, not anything else. Just that it's based off of one of the properties that they picked up in that giant property grab that they did a couple of years back, which should shock nobody, really.
Right.
We knew it was going to be based off of one of them. The question was just which one, really.
Right.
So no, they didn't really announce anything for Secret World there. But they basically said that everything's, they're still doing well as a company, and if anything, we should take from this that all their resources are basically going in other directions right now, but that probably the team that's still working on Secret World, if anything, is it's a smaller team. It's certainly not where all their resources are focused.
On the whole, like them working on other things or other on the dev stream today, they did answer a question someone had in the Twitch chat about AOC, because they've been doing more stuff with Age of Conan, and then they kind of like stopped. And like,
right.
Hey, what happened?
Right. They had like they had a progression server for Age of Conan and something like that.
Well, they also had like cosmetic updates. They were like filtering down from Exile, like because apparently they have some kind of tool set or methodology to take stuff they make in Exiles and cram it down into Age of Conan. So like an armor set or something from Exiles, right? They're able to like port it back into Age of Conan. People could get it there. So I remember them doing stuff like that. But Andy did say that like priorities had shifted and some things were ready to go in the pipeline and got shelved, but that there is something in the pipeline for AOC that will be coming. So I take that as a good sign as well. Like, if they're gonna bother to go back and put out something for AOC, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, because Age of Conan came out a long time before Secret World did, and so, but even stuff for like Anarchy Online, they had they released some new stuff for Anarchy Online a while back, and that kind of blew everybody like, wait, what? So it's not like
well, just the idea that they confirmed essentially that something's coming for Age of Conan, I think is an
indicator that we will see stuff.
Yeah,
it's just not going to be at the pace that that people really want it to be at.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think right now it's the timetable for Secret World is very long for stuff getting done.
Because, like we said, it just doesn't have the resources. They're just not putting the resources into it because they're focusing on getting all the resources out for the newer properties and kind of really expanding.
Exactly.
It's my fault I broke the game.
You broke the game too well.
You broke it.
It's true.
See what happens when you go doing stuff upside down and all sorts
They were like, wait, you could play the entire game with only one IP? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Something is wrong here.
Wrong with me.
You're putting that 1 or 2 person dev team at like high stress levels.
They're like, with 0 IP, he was able to beat the raid.
Ember, do me a favor.
Yeah.
Since it's from your point of view, can you open the abilities window? And then it doesn't matter what weapon, but hit the little play button so like the tutorial video comes up for a game mechanic. Like hit N for abilities. There's like a little play button in the upper like right, kind of next to the question mark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Speciality spotlight. Blood magic.
Yep, it's still there.
How does blood
So
offering work?
this is interesting. You
Use
notice
blood
what the
magic
language the
abilities in
buttons on the top are?
Oh, it's in French.
Yes, I do.
So I made a new character again.
Again.
It's like number 10, I think.
No, I can't quite make that out. What does it say?
Well, the buttons are in French, and the French flag is there, but the video
okay.
itself. But I made a new character, and I went, through the tutorial, and none of the tutorial mechanic videos came up. They just came up black, which I was very concerned about because there's actually been a pretty big uptick in new players, and I'm like, if you're going through this game for the first time, and in the tutorial you get your, I don't know, your chaos weapon, right? And the thing comes up supposed to tell you how to use it, and then it's just blank. That's probably very bad.
That's possibly bad, yeah.
So,
Well, Jimmy, I knew it was you.
so, and the thing is, someone had reported something about this in bugs and feedback on the Discord, but I think it got glossed over as like, like a firewall or internet problem, like seeing the video, right? But I hit up Andy directly about it, and like, hey, I made a new character, and like none of this is working. This is probably someone should look at this. And like the next day or something, he got back to me and was like, hey, does it work for you? And I like pulled it up and I was like, yeah, but it's kind of weird because it's got French buttons on top of it now. Like the videos in English, so they're good, but like it's a little odd.
They're like, so the links that we had weren't working, but we did find these links that did work, so...
Yeah, so something broke somewhere, and they fixed it in a way so at least the videos are there and accessible, but somehow we have like French language buttons on that screen. And it was funny as Andy relayed a message from Nerval that's parlez-vous français? Bun? I was like,
oui.
I was like, yeah. So they said they would have to look into that more. But I think for now, at least, new players can be instructed on how to use their weapon, because at least the video is in English, and the video is not in French.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting if it was in French.
But because there's been a serious uptick in general. I'm going to hazard a guess that it's in part because lots of the Moons of Madness coverage has mentioned Secret World.
Well, because it's the
nice.
same IP, so yeah.
Yeah, so like a lot of like the Gamescom, like remember the other, what was it, like a month ago or more, I showed you that video and I turned on the captions to watch the French.
Oh yeah.
Or was it French?
It was from Germany, right?
Yeah, like I watched their interview and had Google or YouTube like auto translate the captions. That was interesting. But they did talk about they talked about Secret World and like the type of MMO it was for actually like far longer than I expected. Far longer, by the way, than Funcom seems to. Like when they mention it, it seems like in passing, like, oh yeah, it's got stuff from Secret World. It's like kind of in the same universe. There'll be little hints if you know. They don't really say much else. Where it's this other guy, just as like a journalist covering the event, like, kind of went on for a couple of minutes about Secret World.
He
I
probably
feel like
plays the
that's
game.
probably helped.
So, well, I mean, let's face it. Right now, Secret World is 3 games now. 3 games. I mean, heck, we've got it. They have our own novelist going in,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
writing
So like,
writing books.
but I've seen an influx of new streamers, and then even I made my new character right to play through, and I'm like in zones, and there's like groups of like 3 or 4 people that are all like the same level, all like level like 10 or something, going through that I've never seen before. I'm like, holy crap! So I feel like if you start seeing a couple of new streamers, that's like one of those situations where you're seeing the tip of the iceberg, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, like if that's what you see streaming, then you're seeing a
Right.
lot more not
It's-
streaming. Yeah.
Yeah, like the type. I also feel like a lot of times the type of people that like want to sit and play something like Secret World that's a little bit more, um,
It's slowed down.
more mature, and like you generally, to experience it like really well, you want to read a lot of it, right? Like it's not necessarily the type of game like
It's not Fortnite or Apex.
yeah, exactly. You're not gonna stream it because you want like 10,000 followers.
Or WoW
Like,
Classic.
Yeah. So I feel like when I start to see like 3 and 4 and 5 like new people streaming the game, that's an indication that there's like an influx of, and like that 1% of those people have decided to stream what they're doing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that does.
Because there's still an audience out there for it, or this type of game.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they don't really have to enjoy the game itself, but it's just the type of genre of it. 'Cause
Well, and
there's
someone else
not
mentioned
much.
too, like, there's kind of a drought. A lot of people are just like bored with whatever's out there. Like the fact that WoW Classic is like the biggest thing should
yeah.
give you
Right,
an indication of just
Yeah.
how freaking bored
Yeah.
people are.
That's
Especially if you're-
that's a huge indication. That and what's the other? What was the other big one?
No Man's Sky had some updates, and which I actually do like that game, but I've seen more people playing that again.
Oh no, I'm thinking of City of Heroes. City of Heroes, the
Champions Online.
the pirate server basically.
Oh, okay.
Homecoming, yeah. Well, that's can be
Yeah.
a little legality because you can get your account taken out.
Yeah, I mean that's still a
That's a
very
risk.
much so a gray area, and it shows other issues as well. But more than anything else, yeah, it shows the kind of that the industry is kind of not.
It's lacking.
It's not really doing so hot right now. When you have the game that World of Warcraft launched with 15 years ago as being people's prime example of being what's good, when really it wasn't.
Especially
Right.
when people are watching it, because it is a slow
I was
game.
there. It was not good.
I saw this guy streaming WoW Classic today with like 70,000 people watching him or something. I was like, you gotta be freaking kidding.
Well, it's because they want to relive their memories, but they don't want to actually have to play it themselves.
It's the rose-colored glasses. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be a jerk, because I have friends who are legitimately excited for it, and I am very happy for
Oh,
them.
same here. I have
Oh, yeah,
a lot of people that are so excited. They're like, oh, one more week. Oh, 2 more days. It's like the Borderlands hype.
Right? Well, interesting to me too is like the queue times people are waiting through for that crap.
almost like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, like seriously? 5 hours to play the damn game?
Or the lines in game for getting a spawn camp or whatever. It's just like a queue at a theme park.
I always say that.
But it's also adorable. There's an actual queue, and everyone's
is.
being nice and just like waiting in line.
Oh yeah, no, that's actually a really fun part. That the community is actually being very nice. Yeah, they're not being what you would expect the community to be. That they're actually being like, yeah, kind and courteous and forming groups to kill one mob and helping each other out and running through and making bags and
They
stuff
must
like
be
that.
British or something.
Which is exactly what I always loved in this game. I mean, I love the game itself too, but you have to have that community.
I mean, my character in this game is named Ocholovis, and I generally go by Ocho, because Ocholovis was the name of my first MMO character, an undead warrior in World of Warcraft. When World of Warcraft launched, that was basically my first real MMO. I think I flirted with a couple others before then, but that was my first real one, and I played the heck out of it. I played it up through the first couple of expansions, and then basically said, "Do you know what? I'm done. I'm done with the game. I'm just," which is, and by then they had gone through 2 expansions, and everything was all well and good. And I figured out that by that point, I really knew what I liked in the games, and I figured out that it just wasn't for me, which is fine. But it could still be very much for other people, but just not for me. And that's but when it first launched, oh no, that was like, by the time they got to Wrath of the Lich King, like then it turned out to be like, okay, they really started hitting their stride. They started making some real good improvements. Like, that's when it really started to get like, okay, it started to get more like more like what you would imagine it to be. But when it started, oh no. That's that's why the thought of just going back and be like, I'll go back and play WoW Classic. Like, I could see it for people who weren't actually there in the first place, or I could see it for being like, because PvP was a lot more hardcore, I would say, because it was a lot more in the world. It was a lot of world PvP, and I don't know if you see that nowadays, but and so it was a lot more more visceral, I guess. And so I could see it being for PvPers, and I could see it for being people who weren't there, and I could see it being for people who just want to experience it again 15 years later, But for it being a good game and a good experience, no.
See, and it's so neat for me to see people doing that, because I avoided MMOs when they were first becoming a thing, because I am a completionist, and I was literally afraid of how much time I would spend in the game. The first time I did, and Minecraft doesn't count as an MMO, but I joined a server, and like, that was my first kind of MMO type experience. It was that late in my life because I'd been putting it off that long. And then I played DCUO for a while because one of my friends was playing, and then Secret World, and I was right. I will spend a lot of my life in a game I love,
right, yeah.
when it's never ending.
Completionism is a thing, yeah.
But at least I was an adult enough at that point that I could put limits on myself. So, kind of.
I didn't really play DCO like a MMO though. I play DCO, but I kind of play it like single player superhero designer. Like, I would play a character up to like 35 or something, and then make a new character.
I did a lot of that. I did a little more group content because, like I said, I got pulled in because some of my friends were playing. But I had so many characters. And then the holiday events would come around, and I was trying to run like freaking 10 characters through the holiday events. And I'm like, okay, I need to stop because running 10 different characters through the same content is probably not. That might not be the best.
So you're saying
use of my
I should be
time.
doing that now? That's what you're saying?
No.
I think it's kind of too late.
Secret World is worth it because there's like story and lore, dude. That we already know, but
yeah. So
still,
I had my gallbladder taken out, and I believe that evening I logged in DCUO because it was like the Valentine's or event or something.
Oh, sure.
Like, I was sitting in the computer, sitting up, which I should not have been doing, and it hurt like hell because I was like, no, I just need to not miss the daily on this. Like,
I just need to collect a Valentine. Hold on.
And I didn't even play that like an. That's just me, like, normal grind status for a game. Like, I don't want to miss things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like,
good times.
I think in. I want to say back in TSW. I don't know if I managed to do it in Legends. I think I was pretty close. I know in TSW you had the, your challenges you do every day, right? And then there was the achievement at the end for like so many thousand challenges when you finish. And I think I did all my challenges every day without missing a day for like almost a year or something, like in order to get that achievement. I think I was literally like maybe like the third person on the server to get it or something.
Well, Jimmy, you're also the person that Nash was complaining the other day about a jumping puzzle in Swtor. And I was like, well, like I really wanted to be like, you should watch Jimmy
Do it on Coke cans
magic.
upside down.
Exactly. I'm
If you can't do it on Coke cans upside down, you're not doing it right.
I literally did see the lava game achievement upside down this week, right?
Yep, you did it again.
No, I hadn't done that upside down. I had
not that one?
Magic upside down.
Not yet.
I had the
Oh,
cost of magic upside down because
it's not lava game upside down.
Yeah, but which is odd
But
because
he did
Nervell
lava
gave me
game.
the ceiling as lava. I did lava game on Mount
Lava
Duke.
game on a freaking unicorn? Was it a unicorn or a horse?
I did it on a
don't remember.
horse for an extra live stream back in TSW. I did it on a hoverboard on Mountain Dew cans in Legend.
Yes. There we go. See, you remember.
Yeah, I tried doing it on.
I hadn't done it upside down. And honestly, it only took like a half hour to do it upside down. But I was really surprised.
Yeah.
No, I mean, legitimately, I was surprised that it went that, because it can easily go very, very wrong. As you might know if you've ever tried them, like there's a couple of key jumps that are like, even if you know exactly what you're doing, roll the dice, because
I think you can chalk that up to your experience in playing upside down. I think a little bit of that.
well, that and probably that and experience of doing lava game. I know like I said, I know the key jumps.
Also, used lava game a million times. Yeah.
But yeah, upside down is a trip and a half. Like it affects your perception so much, even though it's technically the same exact screen, right? Like if I just flip my head upside down, it would be easy as hell. But when you're looking at the other way, it's really hard to line things up. Your eyes do not want to do that at all.
Right, because you're staring kind of out your character's eyes, so when you look down,
Yeah, your perception skew. It makes lining up jumps like really bizarre.
yeah, I noticed that as I was watching your YouTube play there.
Yeah, it was interesting. But one of the reasons I hadn't done it too is because I honestly didn't feel like it was a bigger challenge than Cost of Magic upside down. Mainly because I did the Cost of Magic achievement upside down, which means I made it up there and did the thing in 30 seconds.
In 30 seconds, yeah.
Yeah. So having
Because you're a mutant, and I mean that.
that 30-second achievement took 2 hours of cursing. 2 straight hours of cursing. Just so you know, like there was definitely a lot more time involved in that one.
I was like, this one you didn't have to restart every other jump, yeah.
So like, once I got that one, I was like, well, lava game is kind of like a similar thing, but there's no timer. So it's technically like less challenging just because you can take time to line stuff up. You know what I mean? That's kind of like why I hadn't really bothered with it yet. But then I was like, the title Nervell gave me is Ceiling is Lava, and I was like, man, I really do need to do lava games. And I had a new character, see? That's what happened. I made a new character and was like, oh, I get to do lava game again. Then I was like, ooh, I haven't done upside down yet.
Yeah, how do I do it this time?
So, because, once you do it, you can't do the achievement again. Which I really wish they would do something about, to be honest.
Kind of like a reset an achievement, or
just a way, like some kind of way to just let you trigger it again. You know what I mean? What is it? You don't have to take away my old achievement necessarily, but what does it hurt to like let the flag be there so I know if I got it again or not? You know what I'm saying?
I gotcha.
So like just because I got it already doesn't mean don't show the flag when I go jump up there. Because if you could do that, we could have lava game races, which would be great. Like 2 people
That
trying to
would
run
be
at the same
be
time.
pretty cool, actually.
Right? The only way to do that now would be like you have to get Andy to come on. I believe he did say, I think Nervell told me once, if I really wanted it, he could probably reset my flag if I wanted to try it again for something weird. So the offer has been put out there, I think. So maybe for like a special event that could happen or something. But I would really like it if achievements, and I have no idea how much work that would be or not, but I would like them to be like re-achievable essentially. At least the flag to still show.
I like the idea of lava game races.
Right? Under Mark's cassette jump, like 3 people fall off right away, don't make the first jump.
That's right, yeah. Because then you've got a time limit on it, because...
Well, what would be great, too, is if you can restart it, right? Like, if you could restart it, so, like... Because just because you fall first, as long as you go back to the beginning and start again, someone else might fall, you know what I'm saying? So, it doesn't have to be that you fall and you're out. It could be, like... You just keep going.
You just keep going, and the
beginning.
first one who gets it entirely, yeah.
Yeah. There was this... So I was in an airport, like, almost a month ago now, just, like, eating food in between flights. And on the TV in that, like, bar food area, they had ESPN 8. Like, literally ESPN 8, the Ocho.
The Ocho, yes.
And it had some weird event where they had people in these suits covered in, like, slime trying to climb up these, like, foam steps that are also covered in slime. And, like, yeah, it was kind of like they all just try and run up, and they're slipping and falling, and they go down, but all that matters is who gets to the top first. You can fall a dozen times, it doesn't matter. It matters who gets to the top first. So that kind of style of lava game race, I think, would be pretty fun.
Say fun fact too is that I started calling myself Ocho long before I knew that channel existed.
Before dodgeball.
Yeah, before dodgeball.
So yeah, some people are like, "Oh, like the channel," and I was like, "What are you talking about?"
I had literally, because we found that stuff so funny. Me and my brother, like, I think it was like for his birthday or Christmas one year, I made him a shirt that said like ESPN 8 the Ocho, like on it. Like had it printed and stuff, like with the logo from the dodgeball movie, like screen cap.
It's supposed to basically be what sports that are non-mainstream, relatively.
Yeah, right. Like it's like dodgeball was on ESPN 8 the Ocho, because they'll show anything that's remotely sport.
Right. Are people moving? Yes, show it. Just good. Do it.
ESPN 8 the Ocho. Grass growing. Oh wait, that's just golf. Never mind.
Oh. Shade has been thrown.
Yes.
I'm fine with that. So moving on, we have a couple other news on top of that. Speaking of our favorite author, Bloodwed Mallory, she posted September 7th that the first draft of Into the Inferno is now complete. This is now on to revisions and beta feedback. The planned release for Into the Inferno, which would be her, I'm gonna say fourth Secret World novel. I could be even wrong on that. It could be fifth. All I know is it's more than 3.
I can't count past 3.
That's right. That's what I start forgetting. But the planned release is this October.
Nice. I mean, like Halloween month's a good time for something like that. I would think.
Moons of Madness comes out.
So it'll coincide with Moons of Madness, and it'll coincide with if they're doing anything else for Moons of Madness, which we don't know, but maybe we'll see. You never know, but yes, but she's planning for a release of Into the Inferno come October. So pay attention to that if you're into the Secret World novels. And we love Bloodwed Mallory, so if anything else, we'll try to get her on the show so that she can come and talk about it more then.
Cool.
At that time. And she loves coming on the show, so, and we love having her. So it's a good
win-win-win.
relationship there. Yeah. On top of that, released on the forums, they had a developer stream for Conan Exiles. It happened August 22nd, where they mentioned a couple things going on with all about Conan Exiles. But part of the big news that went on was that Joel Bylos, who was creative director for Conan Exiles, is stepping down as creative director and it's being taken up by Alexander. I'm gonna butcher this. Alexander Shumieko, something like that. The game's former senior designer. So there is now a new creative director for Conan Exiles, but Joel Bylos, of course, is still with Funcom as far as we know. That he has not moved away from Funcom itself, but he's just stepped down as creative director.
And rumor is that he's taken on the role for the Dune game.
Which would totally make sense.
Didn't he post something about like they're trying to hire like a lead design or something for
yeah, his tweet was something that they were looking for something. I don't have it in front of me right now. Don't know what it is.
I can see this now. He basically said, he basically posted September 10th. He said, "How is it possible we're having trouble hiring for this position? Apply, people. It's Dune, and it's going to be amazing. It's the position for lead designer at Funcom, which is a position that they have that basically says, hey, move to Norway."
Right. So,
which is
this
time of year.
I almost feel like Joel Bylos stepping down from Conan Exiles is like the wrong turn. It's more like stepping out or stepping sideways.
Stepping sideways, I think is a good way to put it.
Yeah, because the game is pretty much it's done. All they're doing is having to make sure it works and add some few things here and there. It's not starting from scratch again.
Yeah, so I think he's moved on to, helping with the next. So like I feel like he's like their project guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would be. He's got a ton of experience.
Yeah, so it's like if you look at his Twitter, it says creative director at Funcom, also current project, everything.
Everything, right? Yeah.
So yeah, he's just like the man behind the curtain, and you know what I mean.
I want to say, did he also work before he worked for Funcom? Did he also work for I think did he do a lot for Star Trek Online? I'm not even sure. Don't quote me on that, but I've known the Bylos name for a long time now. But it's fun because if you go and read some of the points for the lead designer job, part of it is you need to identify yourself with and embrace our company values, to have good written and oral communication skills in English, to have a passion for games in your profession, to relocate to Oslo, to be able to work independently and to be self-directing, to survive the test of the Gom Jabbar. Strong knowledge of Microsoft Project, Excel, Word, and PowerPoint, the ability to spell Kwisatz Haderach correctly on the first try, excellent interpersonal and inspirational skills, and a bachelor degrees or equivalent work hands-on experience. So, some good bullet points they have in there.
I love how the move to Oslo thing is kind of hidden, a few steps down.
you must relocate. Well, this isn't a job that you can do.
Yeah, you can't do it remotely.
Yeah, no, you absolutely can't. I'm just amused at the way they ordered that.
Be like, you have to move here. Sorry, that's just the way it goes. You can't live in Kansas.
That doesn't sound like a bad thing. If you're able to move, moving there doesn't sound like a bad thing.
No, it does not. And it's actually probably a good way to become a citizen of Norway.
Yeah,
if you were looking to do so.
Yeah, you have to have their immigration.
Some sort of work requirement. Yeah,
it's very high.
I mean, my family tree is more Finland, but it's still roundabout in the area. So hey.
So yeah, good on Joel Bylos. I would say we wish him well, but of course he's still there. He's fine.
It's not like he moved to a different company or anything.
Right, exactly. He's still there. He's okay. He's doing
He popped into one of the dev streams in the last couple of weeks, I think. nothing big. Like he just like they just happen to notice. Oh, boss is in Twitch chat.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah,
Hey,
Andy's
how you
cool,
doing?
and then we're like, oh, hey, Joel. Which I will say is nice. Like really, randomly, we'll get to see like Tron in
Yeah.
in the Deathstream Twitch chats.
I don't
Silly.
know. Weirdly, this conversation is reminding me when everybody lost their freaking minds when he was like, "Oh, I'm moving on to something else other than the secret world," and it was like, "Oh no, the game is dying. It's dead now.
Yeah.
They're gonna close the game."
Oh, even when Joel left.
That did not happen.
Yeah, that was when Joel. I mean, any major change like that will bring prophecies of doom and gloom.
Yeah, when Tilty left, like, oh well, that's the end of the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And back when Ragnar left, everybody was like, "Oh no, the game is it's done."
Ragnar left. We discussed this.
Yeah, we discussed that. Yeah,
Off-screen.
Ragnar left
like
the
day
first
one,
week or
day
something.
one and a
Yeah.
half or
Yeah.
something.
I know.
And well, people still like, well, the game's dead already.
Well, it's done. It's done already.
It's ruined. This is why the game is like. Are you serious? I mean, great conceptual guy, right? Like, I'm not saying it wasn't his concept baby, but there's a lot of people that put work into that game and
That's right. A game is
continue
not
to do so.
one- Even
Yeah.
though sometimes a game will try to basically make the face of the game one individual to kind of like, you know, to hang the game on one individual's reputation, a game is not one person. A game is
Yeah.
hundreds, if not thousands of people putting their time and effort into it. It's just the one face that they're able to mark.
Yeah, there was a lot of writers that worked on it. Like, it was his brainchild. I think you could say. But as far as like, you know, all the writing and the tone and direction and stuff, like, yeah, there's a lot of people involved in that from the jump. Never mind after he left.
Well, and that was something Josh Scrivenemancer always argued too, because people would be like, "Oh no, like you're leaving," and he's like, "No, there's a lot of writers here.
Yeah, no,
Guys,
but we're all still
there's
here,
many-
guys. We're all still
There's
fine.
many people writing this that are still here. Like it'll be okay, hon. It'll be okay."
That's like comedians, right? Like you know, they have a writer's. It's that guy telling the jokes might write some of them, maybe, but they like, you know, late night shows with comedian hosts, like they have a writer's room.
Yeah, the comedian host is more known for their timing and delivery.
Yeah,
Yeah, they have a
skills.
whole team
Even,
of writers.
even stuff like, I don't know, like Rick and Morty, right? Like it has two main guys that are like like they helped create. They created the show. They like the voice of it, but they have a team of writers. They don't write every episode themselves. You know what I mean? Like they may tweak stuff, they may mess with stuff, but there is a writer's room for a reason. Because having two guys do the entire work is how you get shows like the Venture Brothers, which are amazing, but it's like a 3-year gap between, or if not more, between every season. Because they don't. That's the only thing I just thought of. They're the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. Completely the opposite. Literally is like two guys. And yeah, they've had like, I don't know, 8 seasons in like 15 years or something. Maybe less.
It reminds me of there's a I can't remember it off the top of my head, but there's an MMO that's actually along that same lines, where, as far as I know, people have played it say, oh no, it's enjoyable, it's sort of open world, it's got a whole bunch of skills to it, but the game is literally made by one individual. And it's just one dude making it, and like I said, it's generally, people have received it really well, but like it's even the guy's like, come on, I need a break.
Yeah, right? No, you're not getting
I need
it.
something else
I'm
for a
going to
time.
Disneyland.
Yeah. But it's just one dude. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but it's they say it's a very interesting one. It's one where you can like it has a whole bunch of really weird skills. Like you could raise your skill in talking to cows or something. Like, you know, it's an interesting game. Anyway.
Yeah, so I mean, So for the most part, any remotely, with very very few exceptions, any like intellectual property like this, has a lot of fingers in the pies. Like it's not. Because I saw in that stupid like death of the game video and some other stuff, and even recently, like in the last month, on one of the dev streams on the Legends one, where someone came in the Twitch chat and was like, "I thought this died when Ragnar left" or something like that. I was like, are you serious?
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
What?
Go home.
Yeah.
Read a book. That's not how it works.
In other news going on in the land of Funcom, they moved the release date of Conan Chop Chop. We would have reported on this immediately last week if we had a show last week, but we did not. So we're reporting on it now. They removed the release date for Conan Chop Chop from September 3rd, 2019 to the much more nebulous Q1 2020. So
Right.
by the end of March.
That's a birthday present for me.
I say they did this because so the extra development time will allow us to improve the game further, including expanding multiplayer from couch co-op to also include 4-person online multiplayer. So they didn't originally have a full online multiplayer suite set up. They just had a sort of a same console couch co-op thing going on, and they figured add multiplayer. So it's gonna take a little more time.
Yeah, what I think from reading on that, what happened was they had talked about like we're going to add that in an update later, and then like every single feedback they got was like this is going to be great when it has multiplayer.
Oh yeah,
like literally everything they got was like, oh man, this is going to be awesome when it gets to multiplayer, and they got so much of that feedback they were like, you know what,
we can't release it without it.
Yeah, like we basically. You would harm your launch because that all these people want to play it, and they're basically telling you up front they're holding back until you bring out the multiplayer patch, in the next 6 months or whatever, what their plan was. So like, it kind of like sunk into their head finally, like this is not a good idea. We're gonna go ahead and add this in before we release it,
which I think is
smart.
Yeah, it's you don't release games in incomplete states. You just don't. And I mean,
I would say
you can, but you're gonna pay for it.
Everyone currently releases them in incomplete states.
Well, you want to.
They do, but they all kind of pay for it too. They all kind of take their hits for it. As Griff mentioned,
sure did.
Yep, Fallout 76 did. As Griff mentioned, No Man's Sky is basically synonymous with with releasing pre-baked. So yeah, and I think the general consensus is would you rather want a game now or would you rather want it complete? And I mean, my personal take is I would much rather have it complete, but I don't know. Some people just want it now. Going on a bit.
You accept your invite, sir.
Oh, I should, yes. Which is sitting on my screen. A bit of sad news, this next one. But just this past... When was this? August 26th is the point when they announced it. But... Radio Free Gaia has decided to end all their streams, basically, to stop broadcasting, which is kind of that's kind of sad. Because Radio Free Gaia, I always feel like Radio Free Gaia was always sort of like the
de facto.
They were always on the other side from Beyond the Veil. I always feel like
And there is a DJ who is still DJing on a slightly different platform, and I have failed because I don't remember the exact tweet.
We have it. I believe him.
We gotcha.
Yeah.
It's DJ
Okay.
Malik. At RFG_MALAK, Malik. He says, I'll be back to doing shows on the 27th. Same place, same day, same time. I'll be broadcasting on... This is a t.co link.
Oh, I haven't been here yet in this
On
game.
Multifarium.
Wait, you haven't been here in Legends?
Not in Legends, apparently, because there is still lore here. I have not gathered, so
just
I
got
have
too.
not been here in Legends.
So Bomber
said that-
says Reaper's working with HDR and Malik's doing the
Mixler.
Also, just FYI, especially for Jimmy, I very rarely run dungeons in here. So if there's
This is
anything I desperately need to know, you need
We
to remind me.
We
this
have
is story mode because
Oh, okay. Then I'm
elite versions
fine.
don't exist for Slaughterhouse. Like they still haven't put elite versions of Slaughterhouse, Hellfallen, or facility.
We can
They'll
take
put
off all
elite
our
versions.
gear right now.
Yeah.
We'd probably be okay. Yeah.
And be fine.
I could take off all my gear right now and I still one shot
And we'd
everything.
still probably be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like not gonna shoot him, so we get to see him move around for a minute.
No, I shot him.
Just let me know when you want him dead. I like seeing his attack. I soloed this guy like using my cell phone as a controller in Nightmare in TSW. And then I made soloing this guy on Nightmare the part of the application process for our Cabal. Would you like to join? I'm gonna need you to go solo this guy. I literally
yeah,
like
my push to talk is still shift, so watch me jump random.
Congratulations. Your application is accepted.
our application has been accepted.
Program.
See, this was perfect for a Cabal like application.
It is, because it's
Test.
it's right there at the very end of the ramp.
Research Center.
Very quick.
Our program.
And it says when you finish it, it says your application has been
Your
accepted.
application
it's
has
part
been
of the in-game
accepted.
audio. People thought I was kidding at first, or I was joking.
Together we will explore
And then as soon as I got lead
program
of
research
the Cabal, I added it to the application process.
and blood of the cosmos. Do not be alarmed by the term blood. It is not my function to alarm you.
It's
I
not
am
my
designed
function to alarm
guide
you.
to the inner outer reaches. I am excited for you to meet Helena. She is the program. We maintain each other.
Apparently, I haven't been here either, collecting all the lore. Well, not in Legends anyway. I remember this in.
I know, that's the thing,
Classic.
because it's like, I got this in TSW, but it's apparently
TSW
hanging out in
Classic,
here.
yes.
I actually enjoy that I'm still able to find things to bring you guys through that you haven't done. That's kind of fun for me. Gotta be honest.
I believe that. I'm glad.
Well, I'm notorious for not running dungeons.
So am I, if it helps.
Exploring the cosmos is a descent, not an.
I don't think I've ever seen that guy.
Helena learned to
Which
escape
guy?
this. So must you.
No
The
fall
gold one?
damage.
Yeah,
That's Helena.
I know.
You've never.
But in TSW, people always ran through it so quick. I don't think I ever saw them.
Oh wow.
Okay, I might have my sprint turned down because I was exploring.
Wait. It's fine.
We're fine. We're good.
Come on, spacebar through all the cutscenes. Come on, people.
No one watches cutscenes.
Yup, I had it down on like 3 because I was probably out exploring.
So that's basically all the news that we had for you
Oh, man. I
this
didn't
week. Unless
get
anyone
all-
has anything else. Other than that, we're just
I
gonna
forgot to get
run
the
it.
list of people. Maybe after this boss, I'll go do it real quick. So there is like been an influx of newer streamers. which has been pretty cool.
And you mentioned that, yeah, you think that the newer streamers basically run away.
They run away? Is that what you're trying to say?
Oh, they run away, yes.
Oh, you're supposed to run away.
I see you took maybe 1,000 damage.
You have greatly assisted.
Yeah, in story, it's not so bad.
maybe we weren't necessarily.
No, but you're supposed to. You're supposed to run away. And then, like, what can happen is if he does that enough times, well, maybe not in story, but in, like, Elite or Nightmare, they started becoming permanent. So, like, see it? If you look at the mini-map, it's like this grid, right? So those beams he does would start, like, being walls, essentially. And so your DPS check is, like, eventually you can, like, wall yourself in and not have anywhere to go. If you think about it. Also, if you just make really poor decisions, you don't have to... Doesn't take you many beams to block yourself in.
Oh, I remember being a bit more, well, tricky, obviously, in Secret
Yeah.
World. But they didn't
So-
have story mode. This was an elite dungeon.
So this is something
Yeah.
interesting. This works the same way as it did in CSW, but it's actually easier. So what you want to do is on your anima allocation, allocate all the way to tank, so you have a lot of health. Because the nodes charge faster, like the more like health that's sitting there. Like, so even on Nightmare of this in TSW, like if everyone just slotted like max health, you never had to fight anything. You would just go stand by a node, and in like 3 seconds it would fill up. You know what I mean? It would trigger. This fight does not require fighting at all. Just allocate to tank.
Just tank everything.
Well, it's because the nodes that you have to stand by that you need to trigger. I think when you have more health, they think more people standing there. They just charge faster.
Oh, okay. That
You know-
feels like it's not intended to be that way.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I
Yeah.
mean, you really
that feels
only-
incorrect.
You don't really only ever needed a heal tank for this, anyways.
We have entered the
This dungeon did not need a
Do not
tank.
approach the nodes. Do not touch.
Although, look up there. That's Helena, and she destroys this thing.
Initially, we had not calculated for anti-anima. It is the byproduct of.
So we want to do one at a time? Just stand by one together. See, we already got one. That one's already done. Can we run up the stairs?
Oh, yep.
You did it?
It's all coming back to me.
You don't want to be on the floor when it goes up.
Yup, I remember this now too.
Yep.
You can just like ignore those guys. We got one. Look at that. Look how fast we're getting them. Actually, I'm gonna stay down. I want to see if my health will absorb this. Oh yeah, easy. Easily absorb it. By the way, that was actually something with took a lot, but it's something you could do in CSW Nightmare even. If you have like max gear, like max tank gear,
Oh yeah.
you could do this trick as well, where you just stay down instead of running up.
I say can easily survive it, but I'm not healing, so.
I'm not healing. I'm just standing here.
I'll stand here for this one.
You have contributed. I
Yay, we did
That was
it.
the last one though.
Not enough.
Oh wait, it's this side. I think there's like a legend or something.
see it.
There is, yes, I
we
see
should
it.
find
It's you're standing on top of it, yes.
Yeah.
Staff, please restrain the subjects.
And allocate back.
I was just gonna say, give me a second to put that battle back.
Don't forget.
But way easier than the other game, like swapping all your talismans around, right? Like you just go whoop,
Yeah.
done.
Yes, much.
Now, Vommer, you said that Reaper is working with HTR. What exactly is HTR?
Oh, that's the Happy Tentacle radio.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yes. One thing I've always been bad at was acronyms. Sorry.
Wait, why is... Oh, I changed build. I was like, why do I have the wrong weapon skin on? What's going on?
Now remember this fight being basically all... No. I would say this fight was always all DPS too.
All the fights are. I mean,
Every fight is all DPS if you try hard
legitimately,
enough.
something you could have, like, asked Shoddy about. Like, you don't actually need a tank for anything in facility. Even the end, you just need someone to kite the ball. A lot of times you did it with a heal tank. But which is basically just someone with a lot of health running around healing themselves. But you don't need an actual tank for this dungeon. It's probably another reason why it's not been ported. It's one of those things that people don't really remember because the only
program. We did not need new candidates. I am all they need.
the only thing the only person that would really notice so much is the tanks, really, right? DPS don't really notice that. Like Polaris dungeon in TSW, for example, they all had really high penetration, so you needed block, right? But the Ankh dungeon, for example, block did nothing as a tank. It didn't help you at all. You needed like evade or defense or something. Like block didn't help you at all in the Ankh. So like all the dungeons, not only with different fights and all that stuff, but they had different mechanics as far as what they expected you to be able to have to deal. And Legends doesn't have that. For one, it doesn't have pen and block. But all the dungeons.
And I do legit miss having a pen-focused build.
We passed all
I
the tests.
don't.
We sacrificed.
Sometimes it just feels like there's an extra layer of stuff for no good reason. But
Yeah, that's fair.
But I mean, so they don't have pens, they don't have blocks. So that's okay. Except the Dark Garth is cheating because they have piercing attacks, which is basically penetration. So, god damn it, why can't I do it if they can do it? That's my complaint about that. But so I think part of the issue potentially with converting these handful of dungeons is like this one in particular was very much like out of the box dungeon, right? All the fights mechanics are like non the trifecta based, right? DPS tank healer. It turns it on its ear a little bit, which is what made it cool. But the problem was that is how would you do that in Legends, right? How would you do that in Legends with the abilities and stuff we have?
Yeah, and that's fair.
So I think
I was also a dork, and I deliberately did like a pen and dot build, even though everybody was like, "No, that's a really dumb build for TSW," and I was like, "Yeah, but it's fun for me, so I'm gonna do it."
I remember doing like afflict builds and
Afflict, thank you. All I could think was dot, and yes,
Yeah.
actually, it was actually afflict in TSW. Thank you.
yeah, afflict builds. So like
Oh,
like,
an afflict
like-
build was
yeah.
really
No,
fun
it was
in
good.
TSW.
I think proc builds became better, but I mean they shifted right as patches happened and things got changed. Because
So I had
early on,
I had
afflict
an
builds were really
a,
strong.
Go for it.
No, I'm just done.
Oh, I had a elementalism pistol afflict build that I just loved. I just loved it so much.
You know, I had the same, but I was pistol, and I got yelled at so much. So much. It's really funny because my build right now, pistol Ellie. But if you recall, the raid back in TSW, originally the buff circles worked off of your weapon range.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you were the jackass that had split weapons, like
Oh
for
yeah,
instance,
yeah, totally.
the mid-range pistol and the long-range elemental, like you got yelled at. I got yelled at. They're like, "What are you doing? You must have shotgun. You must run pistol shotgun because Ellie would. You don't benefit from the buff." And I mean, eventually that even changed back in TSW. But I was pistol Ellie for a long
They
time.
recruited us to be phantom
Mostly because
I was shotgun Ellie for a long time. And again mostly running solo, but and then I did
so we could cut into the
what did I do? I was Ellie shotgun, and then I was shotgun rifle for forever, and then I was finally rifle blade.
The blood.
I made a pistol blade build. I called it my pirate build.
Nice.
That's what I farmed Zemi with. 10,000 Zemi with.
It's a lot of Zemi.
Yep.
It was very hard for me to give up shotgun because there are very few things as satisfying as blowing up zombies with shotguns.
What I really liked in Legends was the blade dash. In fact, you can double dash and the backwards teleport gadget. So you could dash through them, teleport backwards, dash through the same guy again. It always made me happy.
I cannot think of the name of the passive right now, but I still deeply miss the shotgun passive that blew everything up when one thing died.
Was it passive? I'm not remembering it.
Yeah, it was a passive. Because it lodged your shots in everything you shot, and then when one of them died, they all exploded.
Huh.
When we're not fighting something, I can probably Google for it.
Please adjust the pressure. I'm not comfortable.
Yeah, see, even this fight, like, this guy doesn't even really attack anything. The pillars also heal you, or they did in TSW. Like, they upped your health and they healed you.
I'm the modular structure.
And there's a trick to that, by the way. So, like, if you were taking damage from this guy, right, you run away from the pillar, and then you run back to it, and it heals you again. So you just had to, like, basically keep moving in and out of its radius.
I have a really fond memory of this dungeon, actually, from TSW, because the first time I ran through it with a group, we were all inexperienced at running it, and we finally got to the end here, and the rest of the group, all four of them died within the first, like, I want to say within the first, like, 10 to 15% of the boss, and I'm soloing the boss the rest of the time without knowing anything about it.
Nice.
I was like, I don't know what's going on, and it's taking like a half hour.
This one's also messed up because it keeps you perpetually in combat even after the boss is dead. It caused some problems like group find or stuff like that. And you can try and run into the dark zone, right? And it like keeps rebuffing you.
Oh yeah, that's always fun.
It takes health off too.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, there it goes.
Like a little bit, yeah. It always messed me up when I would be heal tanking this, and I'd be like trying to run a circle, and as your view gets by here in third person, like all of a sudden you can't see where I'm going.
Yeah, you get
That's
this little,
super annoying.
It's like grainy static.
Yeah, and like you know, because your camera basically is floating into the portal. This has been Facility.
This was the Facility.
I hope everyone enjoyed it. Look, the red hand logo over here. It's a cool dungeon.
So I like the Cthulhu sort of ness of this this chest.
Yeah, right. The loot box. So
Loot box is a surprise mechanic.
on my
Surprise mechanics.
on my no UI character that I was fist shotgun for, I soloed this like at roughly level, I think, and you can do that in story mode pretty easily, except for certain dungeon boss fights, because they have like a DPS check of some kind, right? And just because you can survive against a guy indefinitely in story mode doesn't mean you can kill him in a time frame. So like contact core I could not beat, so I used a mixture of I think I swapped to like Chaos Shotgun or something, and I used a mixture of osmium, thick skin, or not thick skin. What was it? Immutable? No, it was hammer shotgun, like thick skin and immutable, or not. Sorry, thick skin and what's pulp? Oh my god, pain suppression.
Okay.
I had a mixture of abilities, so like basically I fought through the enraged for like a couple of minutes straight. Contact core was completely electrified and kept knocking me down, and I just kept standing back up and hitting it.
Like, get down already.
I found what I was looking for. It was hit and run. It was a passive.
Do you remember
If a target
hit and run?
Yeah, if a target dies with your shotgun resources on it, it will explode and deal damage to nearby enemies. It wasn't always like useful unless you had packs and packs of like Atnus or zombies at you, but it was a shit ton of fun to watch things freaking explode.
Seems like it'd be something that would be
Like
good for.
I had that passive because it was fun.
Sounds like it'd be good for cult
Fair.
defense.
Yeah. Anything where you have like large groups of weak enemies, it was actually decent for that, but I kept it on forever because it was fun.
Yeah, so you can, with the right build, you can solo even the contact core one, which is like the main DPS check fight of this dungeon. But it's interesting. I also remember a picture one of my friends showed me of before TSW was patched, and people used to break out of the dungeon walls before they like boarded them up invisibly better. And apparently contact core is a person. There's like a male model in his underwear named Contact Core out of bounds.
It's got to be saying something, yeah.
Yeah. They got out of bounds, found Contact Core, like the human model that I think the voice is attached to, and they took a picture with him, which I thought was pretty funny.
I'm taking a selfie.
I wish I could remember where the hell that picture was, but I just remember it cracking me up. Sadly, not sadly, necessarily, they patch stuff like that, as much as possible. You can still break out of a lot of places in this game, especially with Krampus rockets.
That's your specialty.
They're like, we didn't expect anyone to actually use them.
Right? It's pretty fun to break out of bounds in New York Raid and like go stand by where the tanks are rolling down the street, all that stuff. Or just launch in the stratosphere. I was trying to break into the Templar base as a dragon with Krampus rockets. I got up on the roof, but there's like a wall that's separated. I was trying to drop in from above. The Lumi base I can get underneath and see like the computer server farm area, but I can't get in it from underneath. I have cartwheeled to the very center of the Lumi base though. That was fun. I seriously took like probably like 45 minutes to get the angle just right, because the stupid hallway is angled.
Oh,
So like
yeah,
you
it
have
is.
to cartwheel in such a way that like your character slides off the angle, and the angle of the wall like helps repoint your character to just miss like a rail and the guard, because the guard will body block you with his shoulder. Took so many tries, but I did it. I managed to cartwheel into the middle, the rabbit cartwheeling into the middle of the Lumi base. Dragon HQ is ridiculously easy to get into, says. Well, yeah, probably depends on the pathway, but it's pretty open. Dragon HQ is pretty open. Well, yeah, I mean, yes and no, right? Like, if you cartwheel into the Lumi base, you can basically like kind of see where Kirsten Geary is up above. Whereas, like with the dragon, like you can't see your faction leader.
No, because they're like instanced.
Yeah, they're instance bound. Like you can't ever see them. Whereas like Sonic and Geary, you can just like as a faction member just walk around and see them standing at their desk or something. The dragon, the base is very open, but like you can't see any of the faction people unless it's a story point. Oh, I got up on this pillar here. I say, Should I see if I can Krampus rocket into the Garthen world?
Yes. Is that even a question, really?
I don't think it's gonna do anything, but it's worth. I suppose it's worth a shot.
Here we have the expert at Krampus rocketing.
Well, part of the problem is like I'm still in combat for one. I can't sprint. It's not really a good jumping spot, so I don't know how well this is gonna work. But we'll see. Trying to see if I can get up on this little bit of a ledge here. It's not going to work. It worked on the other side. The other side of the room. I'm gonna try this one. Just let me stay on the edge of the circle, you jerk. Ooh.
I can't see anything right now. I was invited to join a guild, just randomly, or cabal, just randomly. I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
Was it Dragons and Wolves?
Dragons and Wolves, it is. But I went to look at the member list, and apparently the game's having trouble loading the member list. And
yeah, because it probably has
crashed.
like hundreds of members.
704.
Yeah. Every single one of my alts has been invited to that cabal multiple times.
I'm fine with it. I'll be like, yeah, sure, hey, what's up?
Well, normally I don't, because I'm not in a cabal on purpose, or if I'm going to be in one, it's going to be mine, so that I can transfer items from one alt to another, or from alt to my main.
But nope, I have to exit out the game because I tried looking at the member list. All right.
Lovely.
Why would you do something like that?
Yeah. See
Yeah,
who's
what's
online.
wrong with you?
Yeah.
Oh, this
stupid,
one.
man.
This one's the one that has the. Wait, can I jump forwards? Maybe. Oh, I hit it the wrong time. Damn it.
No, I'll come back in and be like, you guys didn't warn me that looking at the member list would crash the game.
Unsub.
You can't even reset. I forgot. You can't even reset because you can't /reset while you're in.
Oh no.
Yeah, the end of this dungeon really screws you up. So the only way to kill yourself is just keep running into this wall over and over again.
Just running through
Hey,
the wall.
at least it's a solution. It's not a great solution, but at least it's a solution.
It's kind of like when Hellfallen Boss 4 bugs out. You just go stand in the pit of fire, and you just wait for the fire to kill you. Because it's like all you can do. You know the succubus, right? The one that flies down at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like if you kill the enemies coming out of the gate too fast, it bugs, and like then the fight just doesn't progress. So the only thing you can do is there's those craters of fire. You just go stand in one and wait for it to kill you.
See, now that takes me back to Secret World, to Secret World Classic. Feel like when you have to kill yourself in order to get anywhere.
I've done that in Legends.
Be like, I need to get across the board.
I do that here, especially on new characters. Because I know where the well is, and when you're dead, you run at like sprint 6 anyways. So you just kill yourself. Oh, I hit exit them. I didn't mean to exit them. No.
No.
Oh, you know what? I can't. Anyway, all you guys would have had to kill yourself because it locked me in the well.
Oh
It locked me
God,
in the well.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
Jimmy, are you a cult now? Shit.
Am I a what?
Are you a cult now?
Is there a cult of Jimmy? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because it was actually like a very dark joke because he said we all had to kill ourselves. It was not like a nice joke.
I'm going to need you to.
I
drink
got what
the
you were. I
Kool-Aid.
got what you were putting down there, Griff. I got you. I got you.
I'm going to need you to drink the Kool-Aid. Go ahead and drink the Kool-Aid. No, but like, okay, so I forgot, like, because we're in combat, right? When I did manage to kill myself, it put me in the well, and I was locked in it. So the only way, like, the only way to like, for instance, let's say someone died during that fight, the only way to let them loot is either everyone leaves, or the people that want to stay have to kill themselves so that everyone is in the well, and then the well unlocks. The end of facility is freaking bizarre.
Maybe
Well,
again, that's
and-
why they don't really promote it too much.
Yeah.
And actually, Ocho, I was gonna say the other thing with classic TSW is you didn't just hit reset. You also had to first unequip all your stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I never did that. I just took the pain. I just took the penalty. I didn't really care that.
Oh,
I had a wipe-
no.
I had a wipe gear set.
I unequipped my shit and then I reset.
I had a white gear set.
Oh, there you go.
I had a white gear set because you could set up your build, right? So you just load your kill build, right? So you
Yeah, that's
You
a
look
smart
good.
plan.
swaps out all your talismans and stuff to the white, like, 0 level one, and then you kill yourself. But didn't they change that at some point?
They did. I think it was near the tail end of TSW where they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, hey, by the way, you could just click on a thing now and just go. You don't need to kill yourself anymore."
Well, you know, that's what it was. It was because we used to kill ourselves to well hop.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we did
We equip and then kill ourselves.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it was just a teleport to a well. Yeah.
I remember one of the first, like, events, like the Golden Goal event I was in, which was really, maybe like a month into me playing the game, maybe. And my computer was. I had to run it everything on like level 0 or 1 graphics, and it just looked like.
Yup, I know that.
But what I remember like the most was at the end of that, where it was like 80 people or more, after the thing is dead, and you watch. It's like a massive version of that Matrix scene where they get unplugged. You know what I mean? But it's just like, no, not like this. And then the guy like unplugs her back in the real world, and her body in the Matrix just falls over. Because in Secret World, when everyone do slash reset at like the same time, you see all these bodies go plump. It was like,
Yeah.
like instantaneous mass suicide as soon as the boss was dead. And it
That
literally, when
lasted
they,
so long.
it literally looked like that scene from the Matrix. Like, it looks like they got unplugged because they're there, they're fine. 1 second, the next second they're just like whoop, all over.
I mean, they kept that for much longer than they really should have. I guess they either couldn't fix it or they did whatever. Just they're like, oh, it just kind of cements home that you're immortal. So when you just have to be like, I need to teleport 50 feet and like a block over, I'll just kill myself, and then it'll just appear over there. Like, that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, it was. I just remember like, holy crap! What
Because
is?
I want to say that was like one of the last major updates before Legends. Like, that was really far in, I think.
Yeah, it probably was with the whole. Remember, like the different reward system and all that.
Yeah.
When they stopped doing item of the month and they had like the. So we had like a year. I think we had like a year of those rewards at least. I want to say. Right? I can't remember what they called them now. But I want to say we had a year like
The item of the month.
Well, you could replace that though, right? Because you got like and then if like you were Grandmaster, you got all your shit for the year like at once. Loyalty rewards. Farmer's got it. The loyalty reward system. I think when that went out is when like the map, clicking to port and all that. They were trying to like, because then you could warp for free, right? Because I think in TSW they did when they introduced that they did cost marks if you weren't like a sub or something.
I
Remember?
know the transdimensional
Not marks,
bank
but...
was like a thing.
Mm-hmm. That was something you could
not
purchase.
very descriptive. I know.
But
okay,
the loyalty rewards.
I thought it was through GM, but maybe I'm wrong.
Or well, what I mean by purchasable is like you could get it if you got like a sub, I think, or something. Or maybe it was from loyalty rewards. Maybe you're right, loyalty rewards. But loyalty rewards, you didn't have to be a GM. It's just if you were a GM, you got them all at once. So like the loyalty reward program worked like if you were a sub for 1 month, you got this, and if you continued to the second month, you got this. All the way to like the end of the year, you would eventually get whatever, right? But if you were a GM at the beginning of the year, they just gave you that year's rewards. Like, here you go. Because I remember the first like loyalty rewards when we were a GM, like all of a sudden we just got like a shit ton of stuff at once. We're like, ooh, shiny. And I want to say we had a year of that, I think, and then I want to say we had a year of it before the next year when Legends got announced. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I don't know. It's possible I just lost count of how things worked because I was already a GM, so I was just like, oh, I get cool shit, yay. But I feel like it was still... It wasn't so monthly?
No. I mean, it was if you weren't a GM.
I know it was monthly for a while. I thought it was monthly even if you were a GM when I started.
No, we got it all at once.
Or did you get all the back ones once you got Grandmaster?
No, because there are sub things that I never got.
Right, but I
started the game and then GM'd. Yeah.
Right, but that was pre the loyalty reward system. What I'm saying is they moved everything away from the whole item of the month thing and all that stuff, and they went to the loyalty reward system, which.
Yes.
But then you got the coins, and you had to spend your coins to buy the things you wanted in the vet shop.
No, that's pre-loyalty reward. So loyalty rewards was different.
Dude, later. I've been playing this game for forever, and I don't even remember how it all worked.
I don't remember because I was just disloyal. I didn't really mind the system. I wasn't a GM. I
remember because I had all those veteran points when TSW moved to Secret World Legends, and I'm like, shit, now I have to spend them.
Yeah, like Vollmer said, the Nightmare Steed was added, and GMs all got it immediately, but it's such a high subscription count required that most people who weren't GMs weren't close to it, because it was like that was the reward for having 6 months or 10 months of loyalty, right? But as a GM, anytime a reward was added, they just instantly threw it at you because your lifetime. They're just going to give it to you right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
I get what
Yeah.
we're talking about now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what they started doing in place of the item of the month system, was the loyalty reward system. And when they did that is when I believe that's kind of around the same time they introduced the Animal Leap, because also for loyalty reward, you got free Animal Leap.
Yeah, you're
But-
right.
But everyone else that wasn't subbed, they had to pay, what was it? Was it BBs or what was the currency?
I thought it was PAX.
Was it PAX? Man, yeah, it probably was PAX. You're right. I think it was PAX. Like the TSW version of shards, it was PAX. So they
Yeah,
so they introduced a way to not have to reset, but it cost you PAX, right? But then if you were a sub, you got free Animal Leap, and you got your 18-hour raid lockouts, which Jesus, that took a toll on me. When you're in a progressive endgame cabal, you
18 hours is awkward.
18-hour lockouts means, guess what, guys? We're doing raids every day because that's what that kind of group does. So I raided every day for like a year and a half or so. It's pretty insane.
Also, I am a huge dork, and the reason I remember PAX is because on my on my Google, the bookmarks I have for like my bank and all of that, I named that folder PAX forever ago. So I will always remember PAX.
Nice.
Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate
I can appreciate
it.
that.
I'm
Yeah,
dork.
totally. All
So
right,
yeah, it was February of 2016, I guess. That's when that happened.
February 2016.
I'm looking at
did-
Vollmer's post on Legacy that said new membership benefits are active in Secret World, and that was when they had like the GM like last availability for GM.
February 2016. That was right before. That was right before issue 14. Call of the Nameless.
Yeah, we did get we got an issue 15 as well.
We got an issue 15, the Sleuths Gallery.
Yeah.
And then it was I don't have the date that they announced Secret World Legends, but I don't think it was too long after.
Well, let's see. We had our 2-year anniversary in 2019, so 2017, right?
Yes, it was 2017. The SWL released in late June of 2017, and
Right, so
the
this was
Gallery
February.
came out May of 16.
So this was February of 2016. So yeah, so I think I was right. I think we got the reward and that new system, right? Loyalty for GMs at least got the second year of rewards is what I mean. What I meant to say, right? So everyone else might not have had time in 2017 to get them, if that makes sense. Because you had to go month by month, but GMs, when they came out with them, they gave them all at once. So I think in the beginning of 2017, GM's got like a smattering of stuff.
So I want to say around that time was when I actually bought the GM. I bought the GM really late into Secret World, actually.
I got into the game a little bit later than I planned because I wanted to be here at launch and I wasn't, but I played for maybe like a week and then I bought GM. I really couldn't afford it at the time, but I was just like, no, I this is my thing. I need this.
Yeah, I waited
Have never
till
regretted
they had
it.
Sale. I think it's
I had a way
I
before
probably should have waited for a sale, but I was like, no, I need this now and I will get this now.
I do
So-
remember that we, as a cabal, when the loyalty programs came out, and we knew when we saw the 18-hour raid cooldown, so that we had like a everyone pitched in to get Shoddy GM because we're like, we need you for the raid. We need you for the raid. Everyone wanted to be raiding like every day for some ungodly reason. So yeah. We did a little like inner cabal fundraising. Let's see. I'm trying to think.
What are you trying to look up now?
Oh yeah, I was gonna see if there's anyone we could pass to when we go, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm probably gonna stream after this actually, but I might have to restart my machine first. So
That's fair.
yeah, no, I do.
I'll say-
My cam's not like decided not to work, so I gotta reboot like for the fifth damn. I need to just. You know, the problem with streaming every day is like I don't have time to fiddle with issues.
Yep.
Fair.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And last night I took the night off because I was legit sick. Like my throat swelled, my head was all like stuffy and swollen, feeling like I took NyQuil and went to bed. So it seemed to work though. I'm doing a lot better today.
So you don't sound that bad.
Yeah, no, it works. I never do that, so like when I do stuff like that, it usually works pretty well.
Oh, it works really well, yeah.
Yeah, I treat myself like shit, and then when I do need something, like it tends to work well.
Your body's like, oh, this is nice. That's nice.
Like,
Keep
oh,
doing this. You're like,
You got
nope.
6 hours sleep instead of
I-
4. That's amazing.
I actually get that because I'm terrible with like, oh, I don't want to take anything, and then usually when I do it works, unless it's a migraine, and then like nothing works. But that's what migraines do.
Yeah. So yeah. I have 2 kids. One in school and one in like pre. They like to bring home things.
Yeah.
That's what kids do.
Biological warfare out there.
Uh-huh.
So my wife is an elementary school teacher, so yeah.
So it's like being a plague doctor.
Yeah, it's it's everything she brings home. She just passes right on over to me, and she doesn't even get sick. That's like she's got a constitution.
Yeah,
out the
I
wazoo.
imagine after like years of teaching, like you just have like a resilience to like every damn thing on the planet.
Right, but she still picks it up, brings it home to me, passes
Yeah.
it off to me, but then never catches it herself. And I'm like, how is this? Why? What are you doing?
She's like Teflon.
See, and I don't even have my own kids, but I have always worked with people who have kids. So they get things from the kids and they
Yep.
pass them to me. So kids are magic. Magic plague factories.
Yes.
Well, because everything like can take a root there because there's no defense.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying
Yeah,
it's
they
their
don't have a
fault.
bunch of defenses, and then their whole world is just touching and everything and sticking their fingers in their mouths and
And
yeah.
yup.
Licking wall.
Picking stuff off the ground, eating it.
Yep.
Kids are great. They're awesome.
They really are. They're pretty amazing. But yeah, there's definitely some interesting aspects to having children. One of which is just saying things that like you're like, never in a million years did I ever think I would say what I just said. And it's one of those things too where it's I've never seen it on like TV or a movie or there's shit I have said that, like I know there's like a million movies on like parents and kids and like the comedic value there because there's a gold mine there.
Oh, it's just
But
gold. Yeah.
I have said shit that like I have never heard this in my entire life. Like, you know what I mean? I read a lot. I absorb a lot of media. I see a lot of shit. I've never heard these words in this order ever in the world. What have you done to me? What have you made me say?
I mean,
But,
if it has anything to do with poop, I realize pets are not the same as kids, but that is also a thing that happens sometimes with pets. I never thought I would say these words about poop.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that is a thing that becomes subject matter when you have kids. That's a big one for sure.
As in right now, Baby Ocho, he's going through a point when he's starting to really talk a lot more, and he's starting to like, you know, he wasn't talking for a long time, and apparently he just had to learn how to read first was his thing. So he's starting to yeah, he started to talk a lot more, but he's a big fan of spelling, he's a big fan of numbers, he's a big fan of letters, and except his enunciation isn't quite there, and so he likes, you know, he likes playing with our feet. So like, you know, my wife will just be on the couch and be like, you know, just kind of moving her feet back and forth, and he'll come over and he'll giggle, and except he can't say the word feet, it just comes out as shit. So every time so he'll talk about mama feet and dada feet, except for it's always like, so she'll sit on the couch and run over and be like, mama shit. It's like, whoa, wait, okay, no, this is okay, this is all right, this is okay. And we keep wanting to correct him, but we were like,
It's too funny.
yeah.
I think one of my kids right now is currently saying mohawk is mocock.
Oh,
Mocock. And that's my wife finds that pretty hilarious.
one of my nephews, when he was very small, randomly came up to me and asked me if I was wearing underwear. And I realized he was a kid, and he was probably just like in an obsessed with underwear thing. But it was, kids are special.
Yeah. Well, it's like, because, you know, they want to know, like, do you have to wear a diaper? Do you?
Right?
Yeah,
How
exactly.
about you?
It was like,
Like,
are
I've
you
gone
wearing
with
a
this
diaper?
every day.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Does your underwear have, like, you know, Paw Patrol on it? Like,
Do you have Paw
What are you
Patrol on
repping on?
yours? Be like, nah.
like my little guy would be like, Lightning McQueen underwear? Like, he'll want to wear a specific, like, Lightning McQueen.
Aww.
Be like, no, we moved up to Star Trek. It's okay. You'll move
Yeah,
up eventually.
You'll
We
get
haven't
there.
gone far,
When you're
but
older.
we've gone.
But yeah. Kids are something else, man.
Anyway,
Some-
on that note,
Are we
that's-
possibly off topic now?
maybe just a little bit, but
I
anyway,
mean, there are kids in Secret World. I'm just saying. Not many.
there are, yes.
But there's some. And someone explained to me why the Jinn boss from the Faust Bank has the little kid model before he turns into a Jinn. Anyone
I
curious?
mean, are you gonna finish that story?
No, I'm saying that's what it's a thing. The Faust third level with the Jinn boss in the room. If you look through the window, it's the same model as the kids that run around in Council of Venice area.
Oh, okay.
Like with the bandage on the arm.
Yeah.
It's the same model sitting there like flickering, fidgeting back and forth like a freaking Ring movie in the center of the room until you enter the room and then he turns into a Jinn. So explain to me why the head guy for Faust is a kid that turns into a Jinn. I'm leaving that as an open question to like anyone. Like tweet. Explain why the kid from the haunted mansion quest back in time during the winter part, why he's the Jinn boss of the Faust Orochi floor.
I mean, if he's shifting back and forth, then he's actually one of the Gaki, and I'm kind of terrified.
Yeah, but then he's like a Gaki kid, not like a Gaki. You know, like it's the wrong model. Is that style of animation?
I know what you mean. That would be the wrong model, yes.
So yeah, I don't know. I at some point on Twitter I made a post with like a picture of the kid from the haunted mansion, like where you go back in time, different versions of the mansion. There's one in the winter. I have like a screenshot of him as a kid. I have the screenshot of him like turning into the Jinn. I have a screenshot of them in the in Venice, right? And I had it like on like them all like photoshopped together as like Polaroid pictures, like on a pinboard with like lines going between them.
I was gonna
like a
say, yes,
conspiracy
that'd
theory
be
thing.
perfect for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I did that. It's on my Twitter somewhere. I did it at some point and posted it up because I was like, what is going on with the goddamn kids in the game? So there, I tied
Their
it
point
back.
is that kids are creepy. That's really what it comes down to.
I just want to say I tied it back, tied it all in.
It's right.
It's all good.
That kids
all
are
secret world.
cute. Kids say whatever they want, and they also are supernatural beings. That's really
Yeah. Oh, and if we're going all off topic, so I finally saw Into the Spider-Verse because I am slow.
Oh, I just saw it
and
like
I get
2 weeks ago.
okay, that makes me feel better. But Penny Parker reminded me of Rum in this game.
Yes.
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 Very much so.
Okay, it's not just me then. Thank you.
But I don't know too much about her otherwise.
No,
so.
I don't either. I want to know more now. But just from how she was in that specific movie and with her robot, I'm
with
like,
the robot
oh,
and with
she reminds me so much of Rum, and I love her so much right now.
Rum with spider powers.
Yes. Oh, she would have so much fun with that.
Okay.
And it's like
I see what you're putting down. Yeah.
It's like candy and chewing gum instead of bingo. Like, it was perfect.
I say I didn't initially make that connection, but no, I could totally see that.
Yeah. Uh-huh. my brain went all into this connection.
But yes, me too. I was like, it's on Netflix. I was like, oh, I should totally watch it now.
We've actually had it sitting on our Plex for forever. And then we had a friend come down all the way from Rhode Island just in time for just before the hurricane. And she was watching it one night. And I'm like, oh, I've been meaning to watch this. I will watch this with you.
And then at the end, you're like, why didn't I see that sooner?
Yes, I was actually. I'm like, this movie literally made me cry in some places because it was perfect, and I wish I'd seen it.
It's true. It's true. It's a good one. I mean, I'm the last person that you would take movie recommendations from, but it's a good one. It's a good one, yeah.
No, I liked it. I liked Into the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, no, I'm just not a connoisseur by any stretch of the imagination.
I am a media sponge. So I've had this discussion with people who are like, we can't trust your opinion. You like too much. My scale is very wide.
Yeah.
So, like, I like really good movies. Like, so I will agree with some of people about like some crazy off the wall movies that are like just super super good. But I also will really enjoy, Aliens versus Predator or something.
Yeah.
Like I will enjoy like even much worse than that actually. Like I will enjoy. So like
something that is more universally reviled. That you're
yeah,
like,
I'll
I
enjoy
thought it was
like
good.
complete crap.
That was good.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy it for what it is, not for what I want it to be.
Yes, which is the way you're supposed to enjoy things.
Yes.
So my taste range is just super. So when I explain a recommendation to someone, I'll like at least to other people that know me, I have to like back it with some kind of comparison. Because if I just say I like a movie, it's not good enough.
Fair, I get that.
Like you like everything, it doesn't help. Well, that's just because I'm able to, not try and outthink the movie. Just
You're now gonna go watch Mutant Chronicles and tell us about it.
I might. I'm seriously thinking about it. I mean, maybe not right now, but just when I get some free time, I'm definitely thinking about it because I feel like that trailer has got to be messing it up at least a little bit.
I don't know. Well, I'm gonna have to.
Ember has no faith. No faith. But seriously, trailers can kill a movie.
Oh, I know.
Oh, they can. They 100% can. That's true.
So yeah, I don't know. Well, it's just got.
I just Jimmy, you're fine because I saw the trailer for the new Cats movie and I'm like, oh, it's surreal and weird, just like the stage play is. That makes
Just like
sense
the
to me.
stage play. Yes. No, I'm along your same wavelength on that, Griff. I'm like, no, if
And
you know
everyone was
Cats,
like, oh my
if you know
God,
Cats the
everyone's-
musical, it's
Yes,
weird. It is
it
not
is.
normal.
No,
And
it's
so
not.
people are like, oh my God, this is so weird. It's like, no, but that's what it is.
That's literally what it is. I'm just like, oh, this is what it is, only more so with upgraded
With upgraded graphics. Yeah.
It's not a video game. Yes, thank you. I'm glad you understood what I was saying.
Yes.
RTX
yes.
is on.
Visuals.
Yeah, like that was my only reaction. I'm like, oh, it's still weird. Okay.
Yeah. I watched it and I was like, okay, and I showed it to my wife and she's like, yeah, that's because she's a much bigger fan of the musical Cats than I was, and she was like, yeah, that's Cats. Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
is. And I'm like, yeah, that's yeah.
Yep.
And everyone else is like freaking out over it. They're like, oh God, it's the Sonic movie too.
Yes, exactly. They're like, this is the worst thing ever. How could you
Like,
inflict this on me? And I'm just like, well, it's
You're like, but
that
have you ever
actually
seen
looks
Cats?
like that looks like a fairly accurate upgraded adaptation to me.
Yeah. Feel like it's weird in the first place. That's that's basically what the takeaway is.
Yep.
It's like, no, it's one of the longest running shows on Broadway because it got itself to be synonymous with Broadway. And so whenever people came in from out of town who were from different countries and they wanted to experience Broadway, they went and saw Cats and came out like, okay, well, that's done. I crossed that off my list. All right.
And some of us watched the Reading Rainbow episode when we were very young, where they did the behind the scenes, and we were like, oh, well, Geordie LaForge says this is awesome, so I have to watch it.
Also true. And
yes,
then you're
I
like,
did that on
you're like,
purpose.
but what is this
because when I
about? And it's
did
like,
that- when I was that
not really-
age, I knew LeVar Burton as Geordie LaForge. So in my little child world, it was, oh, Geordie says this is cool, so I should watch it.
yeah, there was an episode where we also did a behind the scene of
Yes.
Next Generation too, so
Yes,
it's okay.
we did. We are so off topic right now.
Anyway, all right, I'm gonna say this last point. Tomorrow, join Andy and Nicole as they continue harassing, adventuring with Jen's Eric and helping him learn the ropes in Secret World Legends. So they're doing a live stream tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern. So,
It should be fun.
yes. I think the last time they did this, they left a gigantic-sized vending machine in Kingsmouth. Or at least one of the times.
Yes, that was one of them. Andy Vendit.
And if it's tomorrow, it is Friday the 13th.
Even better.
And I think everybody keeps saying it's a full moon too. I have not confirmed this. Is it actually Friday the 13th and a full moon?
Huh.
I will double check. And it looks like
It's probably close. I think it's close. It looked pretty large tonight.
I think it's close enough.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, no, maybe.
no, it's close. It says the next full moon will occur September
Almost.
14th.
Yeah.
A day away.
But
Yeah,
but September
it's
14th
Saturday.
at 12:30 a.m. Eastern time. So, yes.
Yeah, it's basically that's what I'm saying. It's basically a full moon.
It's
Especially, like,
basically it's
Friday
it's,
night.
it's that same
Yeah.
evening. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Friday night. It's Friday after midnight. Yeah.
So yeah, so full moon on Friday 13th.
Full harvest moon. Yes. Near the this is one part that I forgot to reflect is that it says the harvest moon is the only see this all makes sense. The harvest moon is the only full moon that takes place nearest the autumnal equinox. We're coming upon the 1-year anniversary of the occult defense scenario.
Oh,
Which
So
means
should
the
be.
event should be restarting as well.
The event should be restarting.
Yeah,
I remember
I mean we had the the spring one?
We had the spring equinox, and last year the Occult Defense scenario launched, and the first Envoys of Avalon launched on September 19th. So,
Yeah,
I would
we're due for the equinox to be turned on.
probably say sometime around that time, we should expect to see a return of the Envoys of Avalon and the Occult Defense scenario getting another nice buff in there as we enter into and close to the autumnal equinox. It all makes sense. It all comes together. That's what I keep telling myself anyway.
Like, so, I just sent Andy a message on Discord. It's like a reminder, like,
Right, you
ping,
can poke
ping,
him, yeah.
Equinox event being turned on when it's coming.
That the equinox this year is on Monday the 23rd. Monday the 23rd is the date of the equinox.
I think he's so used to not being able to talk about stuff. You know, that's like the default. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're like, Andy, I'm pretty sure you can talk about the equinox being.
You can talk about that, yeah.
That already exists. Just something you're going to turn it back on. So maybe let us know. Figure that out. Let us know. That'd be cool. Maybe you'll get something from him tomorrow on the dev stream. I'm definitely gonna poke him about it if he doesn't answer. Before then, I'll definitely poke him about it on the dev stream. See what he says.
So, yeah, because if the equinox is in 11 days, that we should be seeing a return. Yeah, hopefully in the next, I would say, a little over a week or so.
Yeah.
That's it. By at least, if they started at the 19th last year.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
hopefully around that time period.
That's kind of funny. Kind of funny that we just sort of like figured this out because of the moon.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was like, it all comes around. I was like, wait a minute. No, this makes sense. So the next show that we have, which is going to be on the 26th of September, we should hopefully be in the midst at that time period of the autumnal equinox, if not immediately following, because the equinox is on the 23rd. I don't know. It'll hopefully be for like a week or so around it. We don't know.
Yeah, I can't remember what the time frame was last time. Was it a week?
I just have when it started. I didn't have when it ended.
I think it was only for
Can't remember.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
But 2 weeks would be long enough. We should be in the midst of it. So if you join us in 2 weeks, we'll probably be running Occult Defense.
And talking about the Envoys of Avalon.
I'm talking about the giant that is Fairgaz Abernathy.
That shit's funny.
He towers over everyone.
And gearing up for Halloween because it is never too soon.
Break out the hide and shriek.
Yes.
Ooh,
And the park.
And a lot of, like, I said this on Discord the other day, and some people were like, wait, what? Like, there's not a lot of it, but there's a little, there's some lore pages in Hide and Shriek, and there's not a lot of it about Kirsten Geary, but there's like a paragraph or two about teenage Kirsten Geary that's pretty effing amazing.
Oh, I need to get back into that.
So
then.
if you haven't,
that much.
If you haven't ever read that, it is pretty great. And you can, and if you don't have the game or don't feel like trying to play through many sessions of the game, get the random pages to spawn and actually find them while you're trying to find. There's a wiki, like you can just go read the lore page. I personally bought 2 copies of the game on 2 separate Steam accounts and played myself in order to go find all the lore pages.
That's fair.
That's a good plan.
That way I didn't have to find anyone and you could just look for the pages. But
I like the way you think, Jimmy.
That was pre anyone having a wiki of it. So yeah, but it's out there, and like it has cool like lore, like many lore pages in general, but like one of the latter pages has like a couple paragraphs about teenage Kirsten Geary that's pretty funny. So if you're a fan, it's definitely worth checking out.
So, well, Hide and Shriek is currently free to play.
Yeah, you don't. So and it's fun. Honestly, it's a fun little game.
And it is fun, yeah. I only have about 4 hours on record, but I enjoyed it.
I did find out that Andy and Tilty play it on a completely different level. When I played it against them on a couple of dev streams, I was honestly proud that I was the only one that fought Tilty that didn't get completely 3-0'd. Like I got one scare on the board before I lost. Everyone else, Tilty just completely obliterated,
Just
like
decimated.
They
Yeah.
didn't score anything. I managed to score a scare. Andy plays hide and shriek like he's playing freaking CS:GO or something, like Counter Strike. Like he just like he flick moves like first person. He's combining runes like before I even like on stream couldn't even see what he picked up. You're watching him play and you're like, I didn't know you could play this game like that. I just like wander around.
My guess is that who do you think they used to play test it before?
Oh, yeah, I know he did. But even so, like he's using like the quick teleport spell to go through rooms and trap doors, like the whole strategy, and just seeing him play it, I was like, oh my god, I didn't actually realize mentally that you could even play this game that way. I treated it as more of like exploratory. I just look around, try and find stuff, mix some stuff, and really, I'm just looking for someone to give themselves away. Like I see someone open a door, and I'm like, oh, there must be over here somewhere.
You're like, I gotcha, you bastard.
Yeah, it's like me being sneaky. Whereas Andy's playing like Ninja Master hide and shriek. Like he was turning so fast on stream, people were having problems watching the stream because he's like flicking his views so quick. So, but yeah, it definitely is it's an interesting little game. It was fun. I remember at some point, I think maybe the first year it came out or even the second year, I remember it around Halloween got some pretty good press on like Twitch. There's like some random people like with some pretty large.
You actually see it every once in a while, or every Halloween or around Halloween, you see people being like, "Oh, this spooky game came up, and it's multiplayer, and it's."
It was like an Asian stream where this guy was playing it with like 15,000 viewers or something, right? And like I didn't understand anything anyone was saying or what was going on. Like I could watch the game, but it was just some niche like especially around Halloween. I think people tend to snag it because it's a pretty fun little game.
It is a fun little game. Sometimes I'm like in like the middle of like July or something. I think of it because I have once I installed it, I never uninstalled it, so I still got it. It's still around. But so every once in a while I look at it, I'm like, huh, I should jump into hide and shriek, see if there's like see how long it would take to get a match.
I didn't realize you guys were all on your nightmare, Steve.
Oh yeah, I was before, and then I had to do New Series Dance. So
yeah, because it's the one that says TSW exclusive. Waha! But I will say the Diabolic Warhorse has a much better like entry when you go like this. Oh.
The what Warhorse?
Diabolic.
Oh, okay.
Watch my guy. Ready?
I heard you say dialogue, and I was like, that can't be right.
That intro for.
Oh, lovely.
It's a nice entry, yes, indeed.
People have their volume turned up. It scares the crap out of them. I went on to some new streamers that didn't like even know about like sprints in the game, really, and like just go up next to them and turn on like, wow, what the hell is that? Oh, that's the other thing I was gonna do. We forgot to do. There's definitely some new streamers streaming the game, so I need to put together something and put it out there.
Bomber says that they'll be aggressively shoving seasonal guides at people.
Yes.
Yeah. TSWDB, go check it out if you have not already.
.com.
.com.
It is like probably the number one thing they tell new streamers that are streaming the game that don't know much about it. TSWDB.com. Go there. Honestly, because like
Yes.
in large part because the guides have the spoilers. You can like click for hint
Yes,
solution.
which is
That's
paramount.
super amazing because you can ask for a hint and not feel like you just gave up completely. Like I think that makes a world of difference to a lot of people. I've mentioned that to people.
100% does.
Telling them about it, and like
It very does.
the reaction is very positive.
Yes, no, it makes a huge difference when you can just be like, "Oh, I would like a hint," instead of,
the answer.
Suddenly, you gave me the entire answer, and it ruined my entire thing.
So bravo, Walmart.
Yes, and it is very clear. Like, click here for hint, click here for second hint, click here for third hint, click here for answer. You have options.
Yeah, it's super amazing.
I've given up on games entirely because like there was what game was I playing? I think I was playing the first Gabriel Knight game, point and click, and it's a great game. It's a fantastic game, but I got to a point where I was so stuck, and I was like, I need to look this up, and I looked up the information. It was like, oh yeah, you missed something on like one of the first screens, and I was like, what? And I was like, nope, and I like. Like I felt so dirty for cheating to go back to that one point and be like, oh yeah, I did miss that thing. Dang it! And I just stopped at that moment.
Okay, so what that reminds me of, Secret World related, is doing the Scarab achievement in the pyramid.
Okay.
And you get to the very end, and you have 99 of 100 Scarabs. Bugs kill. You're like, son of a bitch! I have to wait for the cooldown and go try and track all these bastards down again. You can solve all the puzzles, all the jumping, everything.
Right, and then you would go look up where that one is that you missed, and you look at it and you're like,
in the beginning,
you feel just so bad about yourself. You're like, ugh.
Like, why? How? Where? What? At 99 of 100? Are you kidding me? Good times, good times.
Good times indeed.
See, a lot of my TSWDB examples that I've used is like where I'm like, I know what I have to do, but also I have to sleep soon, and I don't think I have time to Google all of this. So
Yeah, I've even like, you know, especially streaming. A lot of times I don't when I'm like take the time.
Yes, I actually, I use it more often. I don't stream a lot right now, but yeah, especially streaming. I'll look it up and be like, I know I solved this the right way the first time, but let me just go.
Oh, that's part of it too. Is at one point, like, you know, I really took the time and got through the mission entirely without having to look up any resources or anything like that. But if I'm running through it a second time or a third time, no, you dang right I'm looking it up at that point because I already did it. I already accomplished that.
Yeah.
I don't need to accomplish it a second time.
And some of it I still have like physical notes, but some of it I didn't write notes because I am not bright. So
there's someone that comes by my Twitch streams every now and again that, you know, hangs out for a bit, and they apparently have like multiple books, like a journal book for like each song, where they wrote like everything, like and hand drew their own maps, and like I'm just like, holy crap!
Amazing, yeah.
But I mean,
dude, us old farts did that with the Myst games.
Heck yeah!
Like, I was just like, holy crap, that's crazy. Like, bravo, you know, for doing it, but also you're insane as well. Like, that's a lot of work.
What is it? Someone on one of my streams was like, oh, they were, because I always say, you know, if there's a game on my backlog, you want to see me play, just tell me to play it and I will, because I just want to cross off my backlog. And so they were like, okay, play Zork. And I was like, you're on.
But
So
see,
I got a couple sessions of playing Zork, and
Oh my
they're
God.
ridiculous because it's just text,
I know.
but it's okay.
When they put those text games, in TSW,
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was
Exactly,
freaking
yeah.
hilarious. Everybody being like, I sound like I'm being mean. I'm not actually trying to be mean, but a bunch of people were like, I don't understand why I have to type in the exact right words. And I'm like, that's because it's a text game.
That's
That's how
because
they
you
work.
have
It was
Games
to.
are
annoying
Yeah.
like
as shit.
that.
you're like had to grab a dictionary and be like, what other word means
Yes.
what other word means what I'm trying to say? Because obviously what I'm
Yes.
trying to say is not working. I oftentimes will use guide for those on stream, although I will say the opposite has sometimes happened. It depends on the type of playthrough I'm doing and maybe the timing of when I hit one. But I've also done the opposite, where I've purposely gone out of my way to solve on stream, like long form, more or less to show
Yeah.
it off. Something that even though I already know how to do it, like where to go, like finding the signal in Scorched Desert, where you have to find all the satellite dishes,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
copy
Yep.
paste all the cipher stuff, convert that, convert that again, decrypt the sentence that comes out of it, all that stuff. Like I did one of those at least one time, one of the playthroughs on stream. I did the whole thing like on stream because it was just kind of fun, and I wasn't
Well,
pushing for something at that point.
and honestly, I think that makes for very good streams and Let's Plays. My favorite missed I can speak. My favorite missed Let's Player. He knows the games very well. He knows where everything is, but when he played through the games, he went through, one step and the next step and the next to show people the actual progression.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think as a streamer, it almost helps to like. It's better to have done a guide or like done it, off stream or somehow first, so that you can
Yeah.
kind of present it,
Yeah.
and show it off a little better. Because sometimes it can be a little rough when you're just beating your head against the wall for 2 hours on a stream.
Yeah, doing it live. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's like
It makes you
There's a
feel like
time-
an idiot. Yeah.
well, and also it's at some point it has a certain level of charm to watching someone. After a certain point, it gets frustrating for the viewer, I think, too.
Yeah.
So like there is definitely a balance there. I think that people have to try and strike between being entertaining to watch someone fail versus like I just can't watch you fail the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Well, in those
more.
instances, it's more like you're waiting for like the one point when all of a sudden it's like the eureka moment, and they suddenly
Right.
just get it, and it's like, oh yeah, like basically the same rush that you get when you actually solve it in the first place,
Right.
but seeing someone else get that same exact moment, like that I feel is good, but yeah.
I still get that when I solved the dyslexia one in Wetware in Tokyo.
Okay.
Like
Yep.
because that's like one of the investigation missions that I like solved day one. Day one the issue was released. Like I solved that myself. There was not a guide available, and I even knowing how to do it properly, I still have to I just don't remember exactly what it is, and so I actually have to go through a little bit of the work, and it still takes me maybe 4 tries or something before I finally remember the right sequence of how to deal with the dyslexic
Yeah. Yep.
journal. Which says a lot, I think, about that mission, that you can redo that particular investigation mission, and a lot of it is still. It's not like the Love and Origami, where as long as you know the coordinates, you just go.
Oh yeah, as long as you just know the location.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
And I don't know that I've ever done that one the legit way, because holy shit.
I did the first time.
Yes.
I just sat down and I was
did
like,
the
all right,
first
let's
time.
do this.
I
And it was
kind of want
ridiculous
to at
and-
some point, but just to have done it. But it's also just so easy once you know the things. Whereas the Wetware one, for example, unless I memorize the actual code, which have not, probably will not. Once I memorize the actual door code, I always have to go figure it out.
Anyway, I think we're good for the night. Do you think we're good for the night?
Yeah,
I think so.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we are. All right. I think now's a good time to end it, if that's okay with everyone. Agents, this has been the 0 Point Report. Strain-05 FR2. You can catch us recording live every other Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time here on the 0 Point Report Twitch channel, where you can also join us and chat with us while we do the show live. Or download our show wherever podcasts are found so you can listen to us on the go. You can get in touch with us by engaging with us on Twitter at 0 Point Report, emailing us at the0pointreport@gmail.com, checking out previous shows on our YouTube channel, and joining us on our Discord server, both named the 0 Point Report. From all of us here at the 0 Point Report, we want to thank you for tuning in and wish you all the best of the secret world. Have a good night, and see you next time, everybody.
Good night.
See you.
Take care.